Hey, good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. John Henry Soto here. Welcome to 7 a.m. Hey, good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful morning out there. It is Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. It is 7 a.m. and we are uh, having a wonderful month so far. I think there's a lot of good things happening in the world if you're paying attention. Obviously, if you're not, or if you're consuming media, then it probably feels like the world is ending. But unfortunately for you, you're missing out on the glorious things that are happening around the world. But hopefully, that will be something that'll change, and you know, be more part of everyone's life. It's difficult when you're fighting, when you're trying to climb a mountain, and they're throwing molasses at you. You're still going to climb. You're still getting there, just a little slower. So the molasses is kind of going away. People are moving a little faster, and that's what we're doing here. So today is the last one, everyone. Today is the last precept of The Way to Happiness, a book. This book, I took the cover off the whatever they call it, the jacket, I guess they call it, because I always do that whenever I'm actually using the book and reading it, and I put it away so this way it looks nice after I wrap it up. I know it's supposed to be there to protect the book itself, but I don't know. I'm pretty good with books, so I'm not going to screw this one up. But as I spill my coffee, um, but so today we're going to talk about the last one, which is flourish and prosper. And this is the glorious one because it really just kind of tells you choice is yours, no matter what goes on in the world. Like, like last year with the whole political thing, I got very involved and very probably a little too involved. But it was definitely, I had my reasons, and I have my proof, and my reality on exactly what's happening. So I got involved, and maybe I shouldn't have gotten involved to the point that I did, but I did, and I don't really regret it. Lost a lot of acquaintances, not friends, just people that knew me or whatever. Wanted to go away, which was totally fine. Some of them I knew that they were gone. Some of them I didn't even realize they were gone. You know, um, and it's probably best, right? Because you're not part of someone's life that either I'm aggravating them or they're aggravating me. Not that I don't get aggravated by things like that, but um, sometimes I just don't have the space for them also, which is actually really helpful because I have a lot of people from my church, from music, from films that I meet, and I like to put them into my personal 5,000 members on Facebook, and I don't have any room. So when I look and I see, oh, I have two people unfriended me, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I can put in some other people on my waiting list, right? Um, but one of the things that even happened during that whole time was that I was flourishing and I was prospering. That's the thing, I was doing well. You know, Despite having lost the office that I had and the business, and the real estate business went down and all the stuff that went on, I sat down and I, reevaluated my life, I guess, and what I was doing, and came up to some really important decisions along with my wife and the kids. My daughter is going to be 10 years old in about a week. So I wanted to make sure that we all make these decisions together, and we've made some pretty big decisions that not all of them have been announced officially, but we did make some decisions on businesses and how we're going to build businesses, and maybe we should be thinking about something else because the pandemic really opened up the eyes, probably of many, on their current situation and how frail things can really be, how controlled, we are. And, not to mention the tragedies of the people that have died, that as well. So there was just a lot to think about last year, but we were flourishing, we were prospering, we were doing better. We're doing better this year. And that's the thing, that doesn't matter really who's president. I feel, I was passionate about who should be president because of the policies and the statistics of the country, but not necessarily, I don't necessarily care because it's not really going to affect me because I'm going to flourish and prosper no matter who's president. I mean, unless it's a really severe dictator or something, but then we just have to do something else. But you know, we did really well. As a matter of fact, those 4 years, um, things were really well. Things were really, really well. Does it make no sense? Things were really good, and people were doing well, and it was a really wonderful time for building. That's why so many businesses were able to flourish, small businesses especially, and large businesses. The economy was strong, and there was a lot of great things happening. So, um, real estate was good. You know, so we're in this interesting position right now where we have a lot of opportunities coming up that we're definitely going to take advantage of, and that we have been. And it's, when you're flourishing and prospering, and it just means that, what I mean. It doesn't mean that you're pushing anything against anyone. It doesn't mean that you're, you know thinking that you're better or smarter than anyone or anything like that. It just means that you're happy. It means you're happy, you're doing well, your family's doing well, and you're moving forward. You're moving towards a better thing, because no matter who's president, you ain't gonna do better just because somebody else is president, because somebody else is, whatever's happening in your world is still gonna happen, after November 6th, right? Same thing. Nothing is changing, and you have to change those things. And that's really the lesson that I've always known, that I've never really relied on those things um, ever really. But it can get very tricky at times of distress. People look to answers, and they sometimes, people can be so afraid they'll give up a little freedom for safety. That was written into the Constitution for that reason. So we don't do that. So we're not into fear and give up our freedoms because we're afraid, right? Um, and it all comes down really to what you're made of. I posted something today about, hot water softens the potato, but it hardens the egg. So it's not necessarily your environment, it's what you're made of, right? So when things get hot, what are you going to do? Turn soft like a potato, or are you going to harden up and start facing reality? It's the speech by Rocky, man, and that the one of the last, or the laster, one of the last films that he made, where he fought. I think it was called about Rocky Balboa, and when he talks about, life's about, you know life, nothing hits harder than life, right? But it's not about how hard you you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, right? That's what winning is done. So if you know what you're worth, go out and get what you're worth. Don't be, oh yeah, anyway. That's my pathetic Rocky. I think everybody does a Rocky, right? uh Adrian, this is Adrian. I just so now I sound like a drunk man. All right. So flourish and prosper, number 21 of the precepts. The last one. Flourish and prosper. It's only a few pages. I'm going to read this real quickly. All right, here we go. Flourish and prosper. Sometimes others seek to crush one down, to make nothing out of one's hopes and dreams, one's future and one's self. By ridicule and by many other means, another who is evil intentioned towards one can try to bring about one's decline. For whatever reason, efforts to improve oneself, to become happier in life, can become the subject of attacks. That's true. It is sometimes necessary to handle such directly, but there is a long range handling that seldom fails. What exactly are such people trying to do with one, or trying to do to one? They are trying to reduce one downward. They must conceive that one is dangerous to them in some way, that if one got up in the world, one could be a menace to them. So, in various ways, such seek to depress one's talents and capabilities. Some madmen have a general plan that goes like this: if A becomes more successful, A could be a menace to me. Therefore, I must do all I can to make A less successful. It never seems to occur to such that their actions might make an enemy out of A, even though he was no enemy before. It can be classed as an almost certain way for such madmen to get into trouble. Some do it just from prejudice or because they don't like someone. But however it is attempted, the real object of such is to make their target grow less and fail in life. The real handling of such a situation and such people, the real way to defeat them is to flourish and prosper. Oh, yes, it is true that such people seeking to improve his lot can become frantic and attack all the harder. The thing to do is to handle them if one must, but don't give up flourishing and prospering, for that is what such people want you to do. If you flourish and prosper more and more, such people go into apathy about it. They can give up completely. If one's aim in life are worthwhile, if one carries them out with some attention to the precepts in this book, if one flourishes and prospers, one certainly will wind up the victor, and hopefully without harming a single hair on their heads. And that is my wish for you. Flourish and prosper. L. Ron Hubbard. So there you have it. There's actually an epilogue here that I might actually I'll do another episode. I mean, I'll probably cover that tomorrow real quickly. But there you have it. There's some interesting points here about being attacked when you're flourishing and prospering, and some of it could be jealousy, some of it could be also personal pain that they have in their lives, whatever. And these people are pretty easy to spot if you know what you're looking for. And that's the key factor about, um, about these characters, that they're not exactly geniuses by any means. They're quite dumb to begin with. To attack somebody that's doing well, right? Or someone who wants to do well is pretty much an insane activity. And but sometimes people can't spot them on a micro, right? Macro is probably easier because they're maybe political figures, or maybe there's some other type of celebrity or something that's kind of gone awry, doing things that are not okay. Hollywood's current scene right now. There's a lot of different things that are going on in the world, right? That you can spot certain things, but sometimes you can't spot them all, and when you're really connected to someone, not knowing what those characteristics are of someone that's trying to bring you down can be a tremendous detriment to your goals and to you trying to actually be successful if you don't spot those things. So you have to have the tools. You have to be able to understand what you're looking for, who's in your environment, who makes you, the logical thing is just who makes you feel good when you're around them, right? I mean, who you see coming into a room and you're like, look who's here, and you're excited about it. Or this person come in and you're like, oh God, I got to talk to this person. Oh Lord, look who's here now. I mean, if you have that attitude towards anybody, there's a good chance you shouldn't be around that person. And God forbid there's somebody that you actually are connected to, a spouse, a partner, a family member of some sort. Um, that can be the roughest part of trying to resolve and trying to flourish and prosper, because you're constantly, you know what you want, you're climbing, and here you have somebody bringing you down. Because there's nothing worse than a family member, that fears that you're going to do better than they are, you know and that, luckily, I'm in my family, I don't have that problem. My brother, my sisters are tremendously supportive of everything. I have great friends. I mean, I look for those people, but there have been people in the environment who are really not rooting for you. You can tell by the fact that they don't comment when you post something positive on social media. They'll attack you when you post something that they disagree with. Those are the ones that are the hate. People call them haters, but they're much more dangerous than that, right? They're extremely unhappy people, right? They're just very unhappy people, and they don't have their lives together. They either they've had really bad relationships and romantic relationships. They have always trouble with money. They can't seem to find the career that they want, the job that they want. And so this frustration that they sit on constantly, they probably have responsibilities too. And you have to, I totally understand that too. When you have kids and stuff, you got to do certain things to handle the kids. But they they don't spend the time to work on themselves and to really find out who they are and to build something. So they become dangerous because now they're in your environment. And if they're sort of like people that are sort of helpful, quote unquote, um, then that can be a really dangerous thing as well, because you might take that as some type of advice that you maybe should listen to, something that you might need to kind of maybe change your course that you were on, and you don't want to change your course, but somebody said something, and now it's stuck in your head, and now you change your course of action, and you go down a road that you shouldn't be on because of that. So you have to really have that path. People are going to always join, um, come into your path, right? They're either going to go with you on that path, or they're going to try to show up and try to move you into their path and try to get a little piece of you to go to them. And that the only reason they're doing that is because you're a capable, able person. You're able to do things. You have a tremendous amount of abilities, and people can sense that. And when they're lacking their abilities, they need to bring that over and be like, "Can you help me?" They're not going to ask for help, right? Because that will show weakness. And these people are very weak. And the only thing that makes them look stronger is the fact that they can bring others down. So they bring them down so they can feel up here. But in actuality, and that's, that goes to everybody. Educated people are infamous for this. People who have studied a lot in colleges and have degrees and stuff, they're one of the worst. They think they're in some ivory tower looking down on everyone, and just look what I've accomplished. And it loses so much strength to their accomplishments, right? It loses so much energy or anything. It really becomes a really sad kind of state to be in. So flourishing and prospering is really the thing. It's the kryptonite to those people. That's what makes them shatter. It's what makes them go away, because they are struggling so hard to make you either see their viewpoint, or bring you down, or try to uh, commit some sort of transformation in you, where they actually really are able to uh, uh, change your viewpoints, and they feel like they're doing something good, right? And when they fail to do that, and they see you actually succeeding in life and doing well, um, that's when they shatter, and that's when they just it's hard for them to hold on. um, what somebody like that should do, if somebody's listening to this, by the chances are they won't be, but if somebody does run across this comment, what you should do is really start paying attention to what that person is doing, and start pushing your help to get that person to do better in that area. That's really what you want to do, but again, it's those characteristics, it's something that it's very, very interesting, and I am going to go into those characteristics, and there's 12 of them to be exact. There's 12 characteristics of a person that means you harm, a suppressive person, and doesn't mean they have to have all 12, but if they have a majority of the 12, that means they're pretty much basically want everything to succumb. um, and I'm going to talk about those in the future. Here we'll have episodes where I'll talk about the 12 and name them and talk a little bit about each one, um, and how you can spot those in people. And if you look at somebody and they have one of them, you can't look at them and be like, oh, they're doing this, and that's not fair, right? Because we all have moments when we're not feeling good, where we do things we shouldn't be doing, where we feel ashamed, or for doing for treating somebody bad, or for saying something we shouldn't have said, or doing something that we shouldn't have done, right? That all kind of hits our lives, because we have moments where we're normal human beings, that we go up and we go down, right? We feel good, we feel bad, feel good. The key to life is really trying to feel good as much as you possibly can, right? And like, I don't really have a lot of down days where I'm like, I'm so upset and depressed. I don't have those days. Gratefully, I haven't had those days in years. I'll have days that I'm a little tired, and maybe I'm a little bit grumpy, from working a long day or something, or maybe the kids stress me out or something, or my wife, or friends, or work, whatever it is. But that doesn't mean that there's a suppressive actions to anyone that's like that. So when you look at these 12 characteristics, you have to look at them very carefully and understand that each one represents an actual piece of the puzzle. So if they have a lot of those pieces of the puzzle, chances are you're dealing with someone who might want to do you harm. And it becomes very easy to spot once you actually get the tools, and you start getting this amazing awareness level starts going up, and you start being able to spot people that you should be involved with, and people that you should really stay far, far away from. So anyway, it's from a book called Introductions to Ethics, and I don't have it near me here, but I'll pull it out at some point, and I'll have it here, and we'll go over some of the characteristics. And if anybody has any questions on that, just let me know, and I could also direct you to other things that can help you if you're struggling. If you're having any issues, if you're trying to flourish and prosper, and you're just like, man, why can I not flourish and prosper? What is wrong with me? What is happening in my mind that's making me think I'm always going to fail? Well, I can help you with that as well. Good morning, Marjorie Perez. Thank you so much for stopping by. She's a big supporter. I really appreciate Marjorie very much, and everyone who stops by here. Share this show. I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. This is our last precept today from the Way to Happiness. It was Flourish and Prosper. I had a lot of fun doing these, 21 of them. So I've done already 21 shows on these precepts, and it's been a wonderful thing for me to read them now again, after not having not read them for a long time, to really see how valuable they are. And again, I do have the booklets. These booklets, all you have to do is you send me an email. The green screen goes right through the book. Hey, I'm in there. Send me an email at right over here. Send me an email to johnhenrysoto@protonmail.com, and I will get one of these out to you free of charge while supplies last. I just got a new batch, so I have these now. I was out for a while, so I have some people on the waiting list, but I have a new batch now, so I'm going to be sending these out. Send me an email there, and on the title, just write the Way to Happiness booklet, and I will get that out to you. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day out there. Take care of yourselves. Make today great and do things that you love, and help those around you. All right. Love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, peace.